Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about the Pebble Time Steel Gold smartwatch that just arrived yesterday. As you can see here, I'm going to talk about the best sort of watch faces you can get on it, which of course is all programmable, and the best apps. There's hundreds or thousands of them, and so to save you time looking through all of them, I'm going to present what I think are some of the best ones and most useful features. And before we start, let's talk about first impressions. So as it came out of the box, quite a nice little box, not quite as nice as the Apple iPhone boxes, but certainly quite presentable. First impressions were slightly disappointing because the gold is a little bit dull on the surface, and I wasn't too impressed with the watch strap that came on it. And the only watch strap that's available at the moment is the red leather one that here I put back on the original Pebble watch. And the impressions were that the red leather, I don't know, had a little bit of a pink tint about it that basically I thought looked a bit, I don't know, dare I say gay. So I actually swapped the watch bands and took the black plastic strap from the original Pebble, put it on the gold one. And in my mind it makes quite a dramatic difference because now the black strap nicely matches with the black insert around the top and the black screen, and actually looks, to my mind, quite a lot smarter. This is one of the watch faces that I do quite like because it makes maximum use of the screen area and minimises the effect of the thick black bezel area around it, because the central display area is filled out as much as possible with these quite nice large numbers. So of course with the plastic strap it is now fully waterproof, whereas the red leather one, being leather, you're not meant to go swimming in it, so it's not a huge amount of point in having a fully waterproof watch down to 30 feet if you can't go swimming in it because of the band. But that's now been fixed. In fact, this morning I've been swimming in it, which is one of the great things about the Pebble, that you can do without a worry, and compared to the Apple Watch where it's only splash resistant. So what are the good apps to look at, and what are the good watch faces? One of the first things I would do is set up the shortcuts. So you've got the upper button, the up button and the down button can both be customized to run any particular program. You can get to the watch faces by your central menu select button. So first of all it goes straight to music, but you can scroll down and go to watch faces and then select whatever watch face that you'd like to have on. But there's quite a few presses to do that. So one of the first shortcuts that I set up was to program the top button so that it goes straight to the watch face selection. So flip dot is that one that we just saw, which I quite like. Hardonky analog is another quite nice one with weather, battery status, whether your Bluetooth is connected or not, and with a little bit of a shaky wrist it gives 4-day weather forecast for the days coming up with temperature and wind speed. So next one, flip dot we've done. Sapphire is quite a nice posh-ish looking watch with the date, fairly traditional looking. I suppose quite nice if you're going out in the evening. That's called Sapphire. This one, Nixie, I do quite like. It's quite an attractive looking face, and is imitation of the old, what do they call them, valve type fluorescent tube number displays, and you get a little bit of a shake, they sort of flicker like the old valve tubes. A bit of fun, quite nice, fairly readable, quite big numbers. Let's have a look at the next one, Colour Watch. Fairly standard watch, but has some useful information like battery, obviously time and analog and digital formats, whether the Bluetooth's connected, day of the week, and a date and the month. Fairly simple, but very clear to read. Utility reverse, again black and white, similar sort of information, just a bit different. Fancy face I quite like. There's quite a lot of information on this one. So we've got the date and day with the circle around it how much that circle is filled in shows the battery percentage. It's got a neat little compass on it with a little red dot which shows the direction you're pointing in, which it reckons is south-southeast at the moment because of that little red dot there. Temperature, degrees C or Fahrenheit, and I think the circular one is the amount of cloud cover. I'm not sure whether that does anything more on shapes. No, that's basically it. You've also got a second hand as well, which is quite nice looking. Next one, perspective, is a bit of fun. A heavily animated screen, as you can see, with the hours, minutes and seconds. That's being animated all of the time. Just a bit of fun really, show off the capabilities of your watch. I think there's different colour options on there as well. GPS analog, loose. Very simple watch face. Again, maybe the sort of face you might want to have on if you're going out, just showing the dates, seconds, minutes, hours. Quite attractive, especially with the all black background. I will just mention back on the flip dot one that you can program the background and foreground colours on this one. I actually programmed the foreground colours of the numbers to be yellow, so that quite nicely matches the gold. So it looks sort of all in gold, which is quite attractive, I think. And what else have we got? Sliding text. I think now we're on to some of the older style traditional watch faces. And actually the easiest way to look at these watch faces is to get your app out and bring up the Pebble app. And then you go to My Pebble and Watch Faces. So you can see all of the watch faces that I've loaded up within the app, and actually you can see what they're going to look like. And so it's much easier to pick them. As I say, some of these ones are somewhat older ones. A useful one if you go out boating is a clock with the tides on it. All you have to do is say set watch face, and then instantly the watch is updated to that particular watch face. The graph at the top showing the state of the tides for your particular location, height in feet, and high and low tide times. So those are the watch faces. In terms of the apps, one of the really useful ones, which is on a shortcut, is the Misfit app, which is basically an activity tracker. So it gives you your time, number of steps, and has a target that you can set and graphs your weekly activity. Also monitors your sleep. So I've had 7 hours 51 minutes, 49 minutes of sleep out of a total goal of 8. And it also graphs that over the week, so you can see whether you're having enough sleep or not. Typically your target for numbers of steps is about 10,000 steps, and so far I've done 1,600. You can go straight to watch faces and apps through the center button, which goes to the menu selection. While we're on it, so on the music app we can directly start playing the music on the phone, and it's somewhat better than the original Pebble because now we can go into a second level of menu and actually control the volume directly from the phone, which is rather useful. Go back. So next menu, notifications, alarms, watch faces mentioned earlier, quotes, stock market quotes, Quabble as a useful app. So we've got Apple, Semtech, Tesla, just as an example. You can change the view to how many points have gone up and down, percentage rise or fall, and so on. Misfit, we just mentioned, stopwatch, useful. My path locations shows the nearest food, restaurants or fuel. So let's check out food, see if that's working. Not exactly the closest, but some restaurants are listed on there. I think what's actually slightly more useful is probably the TripAdvisor app. Yelp probably gives a similar thing as well. Okay, discover enabled. Let's have a look at restaurants near me. Okay, these are all fairly close. Probably not the closest again. Let's go back again. I'll come back to that in a minute. And that one, let's have a look at where's TripAdvisor, which offers a rather similar thing. So again, let's have a look at restaurants. It's only restaurants and attractions on it. I think this tends to have quite a few more, so that one is the very closest restaurant, and some of the other ones as well. So TripAdvisor is slightly more accurate and slightly more comprehensive. Oh, the other good thing with TripAdvisor is you can say, come on, load up again. If you select a particular restaurant, what you can say is go there now, and it then directs you where to go, which actually changes as you move, so you can walk along and go and find that restaurant, which is quite nice. So what other apps did we miss? Map GPS is rather nice. It has an accompanying app that you have to run that goes with it. Connect to Pebble. And then, there we go. So then we have a particular map of where we are, where we want to go to. You can set a direction here. And then you should, on the watch face, we can then see the road route that we need to go on to get to our particular direction. It has an ETA and a distance on it. I've loaded this app, because potentially useful for the future for controlling devices around the house. There's quite a few different apps for doing it. Vera is one of them. Don't actually have a Vera box, so that's probably why it's not giving me anything. But I loaded that to remind me to do some home automation later, and that would be pretty cool, controlling lights on and off and dimming lights with your Pebble. TripAdvisor we've done. Uber, that is a rather useful one, which gives us a little map, and I believe we can say pick me up, choose the car, blah blah blah, and hopefully see an Uber taxi arriving. Not applicable around this area, but useful in London. And what have we got? This one. Oh, there's another somewhat older but quite nice watch face that I used on my original Pebble. Has temperature at different times of the day, rough weather. Does it give anything else? I think it does. How do we do it? There we go. And so now gives you a graph, I think, of the temperature throughout the day, battery percentage, when it was last updated, temperature, weather, humidity, pressure, direction of change, wind speed, as well as time and date. Been updated to colour, which is quite nice, and the weather for the rest of the week. It's actually it's not a watch face; it's actually a separate app. So your normal up and down buttons, rather than giving you your time schedule, actually do functions within the app. Quite a nice one. Analog forecast, weather. Endomondo is a very useful one for when you're exercising, going out on the bike. So you see here, this app actually wasn't on the watch face. It wasn't on the watch, so what it then does is to upload the app directly and fairly quickly from the phone. You need to have the accompanying Endomondo app running. So in the settings for the app, we need to connect our Pebble Watch first. That was the original one. This is our new one. Customize display. Good enough. Yep. So now we've actually started our workout with the app on the phone. We then get the convenient display of number of calories, miles travelled, and number of miles per hour. And we can actually stop and start our activity, or completely stop the activity from the watch, which is quite useful. And the last rather useful one is the camera remote control. So here we are on the list of apps. Camera video remote controller for iPhone from iWatch. So you have a companion app again, which we run. And so you set your camera up. Oh, hang on, we have to connect first. There we go. There we go. You actually get a small black and white picture of what is appearing on the camera's phone. You can use the watch to actually take a picture So quite useful if you're doing a photograph of a group that you want to be in it. You can reverse the camera, turn the flash off and on, and take a picture. And as well as those apps and watch faces, you have the standard Pebble Time features of showing your schedule for the previous 2 days and the 2 days coming up. So yesterday, not a huge amount on, a few bits in my schedule, day before, and so on. Eventually we go back to today, which shows the watch face, and then sunset today, any activities left today, and then the next day tomorrow shows the date, nothing on tomorrow, just the sunrise and sunset times. And you see where this little arrow is. If you press the middle button on that feature, it gives you detail on the sunrise, and then if you go down, it gives you some more information on the weather forecast. So you don't really need an app to show the weather. It's actually a built-in function in the watch. And I ought to also mention, of course, the standard smartphone feature of being able to answer your phone or reject the phone call from your watch. So as a phone call comes in, you will get a notification and you can very quickly answer your phone, like so. And then you can take your time to get your phone out of the pocket. The phone has been answered, and you can then talk to the person and cut off the phone call. And similarly, receiving text messages.
You have a text message.
Like so, that's the noise from the phone, but you get a small vibration on your watch, and you can then dismiss the message. And also, if you was in a cinema or something, you could set it to permanent non-notification mode by activating quiet time. So it saves having to get the phone out to look at every single minor text message that comes in, and makes life a lot easier, and is a very useful feature of a smartwatch. It's well worth getting a smartwatch just for the features of being able to answer the phone and being able to look at text messages a lot quicker. So I think that's it. Very useful watch, nice lot of functions. Screen fairly visible, always on. Probably not as great on angles as some of the, well, perhaps like the Apple Watch, as you can see, especially that way, although literally to the eye it's looking better than it is on the screen. But yeah, overall pretty pleased with the watch, and hope that helps somebody to decide whether to buy one, and what watch faces and apps might be useful for them. Haven't explored the microphone option yet, haven't seen much information about that, and hopefully that's a feature that's coming soon, especially for the iPhone. Okay, thanks for watching, bye.